السلام عليكم. مساء الخير على الجميع. Welcome to our today's workshop, which is going to be about common grammar and punctuation errors, presented by Ms. Maha Alsowida. Thank you, Ms. Maha, for taking the lead to present this workshop. So the floor is yours. You may start now.
Thank you, Dr. Basim. Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to present one of the Academic Writing Center workshop. I hope you enjoy attending my presentation, and I hope to be an interactive one because it's based on lots of activities. Today, I'm going to talk about grammar and punctuation, common grammar and punctuation errors. The aim of this workshop are stated here. By the end of this workshop, student will be aware of common grammar and punctuation errors. Student also can highlight effective strategies to overcome these errors. This is the outline of the workshop. It will be divided into two main parts. The first part, I will talk about the common grammar errors, like the errors with the verb to be, nouns and pronouns, subject-verb agreement, prepositions, and conjunctions. In the second part, I will focus on the common punctuation errors, including capitalization, full stop, commas, and other punctuation marks. I would like to start my workshop with these inspirational quotes. It has been said that no matter how mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who's not trying. So here the basic idea is to try, and no one can avoid mistakes in his life. And it has been said that mistakes usually happen by situation and not by intention. Try to know and analyze reasons and intent behind it. So always about trying and analyzing and see what the reasons behind these mistakes. First of all, I just want to check or ask you, what is a grammar? When I say what is a grammar? When I say syntax, American terms, a proper wording, okay, rules. Can you give me an example of syntax of grammars, or maybe writing rules, the expression of action and time? Okay, so thank you. SVO, which is the rule, subject, verb, object, guidelines of the language, tenses, standards, using for past tense, verbs with adverbs. So we've got a clear idea what is grammar. Okay, what is punctuation? When I say punctuation, symbols, marks. So interesting. It is using periods, comma, question marks. Okay, let's see the definition by Cambridge Dictionary. A grammar is the study or use of rules about how words change their form and combine with other words to make sentences. This is according, so you've got the same idea. And punctuation refers to special marks that are placed in a text to show the divisions between phrases and sentences, or to show the use of these marks. So this is basically when I say grammar. And today's in our presentation, we are going to focus on the common mistakes in grammar and punctuation. Okay, just look at these two questions. Where do common errors in grammar and punctuation occur? Where can you see these errors? Writing, okay, so it's a form of writing. So in translation from Arabic to English, in the spoken language, speaking. Good. Okay, who decides that there are common errors in grammar and punctuation? Who decides this? Who tells us that these are the errors in the grammar and the punctuation? Editors, teachers, statistics, readers, linguistics, native speakers. Okay, great. Instructor, linguist, excellent. So here we can see them in written language and spoken language, as you see. But however, today we are going to focus on the written language because we are serving the Academic Writing Center. And we are going to limit our sources to the teacher's own observation and the Cambridge Learner Corps. Okay, so these are the main source of the common grammar and punctuation errors in this presentation. Okay, what I mean by Cambridge Learner Corps, it's the main research tool used in England, designed by Cambridge researchers and developers. It gives a clear view of how English language is currently used all around the world. Maybe there are more than 200 countries that are observed through this course. They see how it is the English language, how it's spoken, how it is written in different contexts, and how it evolves, and what errors people make. And also, a great point to be mentioned here, it is being used in English Unlimited, the course book that we teach in ALI at KEU. Okay, so we will start with the grammars, like the examples as you see in front of you. You mentioned most of these. You mentioned verbs, prepositions, questions, adjectives, speech, nouns, past. All of these are grammar. We will start with verb to be. The English Corps or Cambridge Corps suggested that learners often make mistakes with the verb to be. Be, I meant with, that is and am and are. I want you to look at these three sentences and to add a form of be to complete each sentence. I will do the first one for you. Al-Bake, a great restaurant. So I will choose is. Al-Bake is a great restaurant. Number two, the waiters in Al-Bake are good, as I see in the chat. Excellent, ladies. Three, I am from Jeddah. So this is how we use the verb to be as an independent and the main verb of a sentence, of the sentence. I want you to read this little text and add the form of be. So it's correct. So here, the verb to be is missing here. So just have a look. Okay, so here, see here the answer. Great interaction. Okay, let's see the answers. There are many good places to eat in Jeddah. The famous one is Al-Baik, because the subject here, the famous one. So it's a singular, that's why we use is. It is cheap, and delicious. There is only one problem. It is always crowded. Okay, great. So let's move to the other part. Verb to be in the. When we use was and where, we use it in the. Use it in the past. Excellent. So I want you to fill in these blanks using was or where. So one where. Great. So here are the answers as you, mashallah, have done. Mary and Susan were ill yesterday. The weather was very hot last Saturday. The students were at the theater last night. Yasser was in Germany last summer. Okay, good job. So here the form of the be in the past as the main verb of a sentence, and as we see here, indication for the past tense: yesterday, last Saturday, last night, last summer. Okay, here also the corps, the Cambridge corps suggested that learners sometimes use be as an am or when it is not necessary. So we have 7 sentences. We are going to correct them by either adding or crossing out be. I will do the first one for you and you do the rest. Reading encourages cultural exchange. So I will omit one of the verbs. I see 2 independent verbs following each other. For, either to choose as or encourages. So we cross as because it makes sense when I say reading encourages cultural exchange. So what do you think about the remaining? Number 4, it's most common. And number 5. Number 6, okay, great. Number 7. Okay, so this is the correction. We choose one verb instead of using verb to be with other verbs. So many people love to read. Books in many languages are available. It depends on how many books you read monthly. That means the more book you read, the more knowledge you gain. And the Holy Quran is the best. And I am a good reader. So here we add, sometimes we add verb to be, and sometimes we cross it because we cannot join 2 independent verbs following each other as in the sentences. Okay? Let's look to the other aspect of using verb to be. Learners often make mistakes with the verb to be in the passive voice. In the passive voice, we use verb to be with the past participle, is, am, are, and past participle in the positive sentence. So circle the correct choice from 1 to 3. Is held. A book fair is held in Jeddah every year instead of held. To make sense or to make the sense of the passive voice, the book fair is attended. Excellent, by many people. Books at reasonable prices are sold because this gives us the sense of the passive voice. What do you notice here? Is verb to be here is the main verb or act as a helping verb? Excellent. So helping verb as an act as a helping verb. So it's different from the cases I indicated before. So here, add forms of be, is, and am, and are in the passive voice. What do you think of number one? Turkish, spoken in Turkey. Okay, great. Turkish is spoken in Turkey. 30 people are invited. Excellent. Good. Are invited to today's party. The Red Sea Mall, great, is located in Jeddah. As we see answers in blue, you are right. So here, as you can see, the verb to be act as a helping verb in the passive voice in the present tense. Here, let's see be in the passive voice with was and were in the past when you indicate the past, the passive voice. So I want you to fill the blanks using was or were. I will do the first one and you do the rest. Two men were seen breaking into a house in my street last night. I chose were because the subject here, two men. And we have here last night to indicate the past. So have a moment, have 2 moments كده to okay. So here here is the answers, or here are the answers. Two men were seen breaking into a house in my street last night. The police was called and they arrived very quickly. One man was caught was caught immediately. The other escaped, but he was found very soon. Both men were taken to the police station where they were questioned separately by the police officer, and two men were charged with burglary. Okay, so these are the cases of using verb to be with the passive voice. So here, after we expose all of these examples and all these common issues in verb to be, we can learn, or we have learned, that verb to be consists of is, am, and are in the present, and was, aware in the past as an independent verb or acting the main verb of a sentence. Also, sometimes you don't need to use the verb to be with simple present or simple past verbs at the same time. And sometimes verbs to be act as helping verbs in the present or past tense. For example, in the passive voice. Okay? Can you think of other structure in which verb to be act as a helping verb other than passive voice? Hmm? Excellent, present continuous. Great. In the gerund, I think it's a noun. The gerund we consider as a noun, but verb to be is connected to or helping verb in some structure as the passive voice and present continuous. Okay, with used to. Okay. Thank you. let's move to the second grammar, the nouns and pronouns. Can you give me example of nouns? Example of nouns. Okay, always names, our names, things. Okay, pronouns. Okay, so these him, her, object pronouns. Okay, the pronouns with he and she and it, they. Okay, so variety of subject pronoun and verb, subject pronoun and object pronoun. We do care here about the subject pronoun. I want you to look at this case suggested by the Cambridge Corps. It says learners often make mistakes with nouns and pronouns. Look at these two sentences. Which sentence is true and which one is false? Look at number 1 and 2. One is true and the other two is false. Why it's false? Okay, why it is because we use nouns and pronouns at the same time. Okay, okay, here I want you to look at these 4 examples. Cross out one word or these sentences so these sentences are correct. So you need to cross one word from these sentences. Number 2, okay, number 3, number 4, great. So here, Fahad is right because we have a noun here. And here we have noun and pronoun at the same times. We should cross one of them. Here we says Beirut and it. So we should keep one and cross the other, the pronoun that indicates this name. خلاص, no need. So Beirut has beautiful buildings. The company manager showed me the city. No need to repeat ourselves in pronouns. The driver met me and took me to the hotel. People in Beirut are nice instead of repeating ourselves. Okay, so after this session of noun and pronoun, we have learned that we need only one noun or a pronoun before a verb. And this we can notice that this is a common mistake done by our student. Okay, so let's move to the subject-verb agreement. What do you think of subject-verb agreement? What do I mean? In what way verb and subject agree with each other? Excellent, singular and plural. So this is the main point, either singular or plural. Thank you, Shahad. Here, the issue here with our learners often make mistakes with the subject-verb agreement. I want you to look at this small text and look at the highlighted subject and verbs. I want you to look at them, the highlighted ones, and to see, do they agree with each other? The answer is no. Why? Let's see the other example. Here, correct or circle the correct choice. A large number of people in Saudi Arabia is or are vaccinated against coronavirus. What do you think of number 1? A large number people. Number one says a large number of people. So is or are. Is a large number of people is vaccinated against coronavirus. Number two, three, provide. Four, gives. Five, six. Okay. Here are the answers. Dubai Mall, the answers highlighted in blue, always the answers highlighted in blue. Dubai Mall is one of the world's largest shopping malls. So we use is to agree with the singular subject. Here it has, now they agree with each other because they are singular both. And many of the shops are, they agree with each other because they are all, plural. And also the case here, they have really nice things. Okay. Here we say a large number is vaccinated against coronavirus because we here indicate a large number. We're talking a large number, not this large number consists of people. So we use is, okay? The students were confident that their project would be successful. So they agree now with each other. They provide. Okay, great, because they agree with each other. And if I say provides, this is in the verb, we use it with singular pronoun, he and she and it. And we have here the pronoun they, which agree with provide. They provide pencils for all students in the exam. He gives a nice joke. He gives a nice joke. Most of students find writing exam essays difficult. Okay, what do you think of last one? Demand for healthcare usually exceed or exceeds. Demand exceeds supply. So the subject here is singular, so that's why we it agrees with exceeds with the verb with s in the present. Okay, so from this, or the conclusion from this, we have learned that we use a singular verb with a singular subject and singular verb with a singular or a plural verb with a plural subject. Because we are talking about Tibian, I think because we talk about a large number, not people. So a large number is vaccinated. Okay. Let's move to another part, which is prepositions. What do I mean by prepositions? What do you know about prepositions? Okay, so these are examples of, in, on, with. All of these are example of prepositions. So prepositions generally are short words, uh, which are often linked to noun, verbs, adjectives. Okay, their use might be confusing, but we will learn how we can connect them to locations, places, time, distance, so in order to use them in properly. So I want you here to underline the prepositions. So focus now on the preposition and underline. For example, number one, in. Okay. Two, excellent. On and at. 3, between. I saw between. 4, under. 5, 2, 6, 4, 7, by, 8, near, 9, since, and 10, like. If we read these sentences, um, we can understand in which context they are used. Okay, when I say the first football World Cup was won in. So these we use it with in 1930. We use it with time. Okay, and here writing exam will be on Monday. Years with years, with days, at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Time, between, under, between and under. Sarah sat between the two bounds, the places. Good. Walked to the last platform. Also places. The roses are for you. For you. So in which context we use for? Sorry. Okay. The roses by. So try just to understand the context in which these prepositions are used. Roses by indicate the place. For you, it's for your reason, or she sat near the window, also the place. I haven't seen him since yesterday. Here, time. I prefer hard cheese like cheddar. Like. Excellent. We have here distance. When you say near and by. Like. I preferred hard cheese like cheddar. For example, such as. So all of these are contexts in which they are used. Here, I want you to look at this text. Just try yourself to choose the correct preposition. Okay. 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 Thank you for participating. Look here at the answer. Think of your answer. Did you get it right? So the answers highlighted in blue. I want to buy a comfortable house in the countryside in England. So places, we use it for place. It is close to the beach. So here, distance or place. It is 3 hours from London. So here also, distance. In the entrance hall, there are benches for people to sit on. There are carpets on the floors, but no pictures on the walls. Also, there is a big window with a view of the sea. The balcony at the back is perfect for relaxing. In the backyard, I would like to grow different kinds of herbs and vegetables like potatoes and tomatoes. So from this text, can you we can use preposition to talk about location and places. What did we use for location and places? What did we use for distance? With the time and date. Reasons or purpose. Good. Good job. Examples and kinds. Okay. So let's elaborate a bit in the preposition of time. So let's fill in the blanks with the preposition of time. Use at or in or on. Number one, on Saturday. Two, in July. Three, in, excellent, in 1983, March. In as well, Friday, let's say Friday, days. So with days we use on. With the months like July and March we use in. With dates we use in as well. What about the morning and the evening? Number 7 and 9. In, excellent, in the morning, in the evening. What about summer and season, like summer, winter? Excellent, in summer or in winter. Okay, at night, I saw at night, excellent. So with the time or with the clock, you can use at 9 o'clock or at night. Do you know other cases that you can use at night? We will have extra activities for the time expressions or for preposition for time. At home, at home, at weekends, at party. Okay. Here at home and at place or at work, we here express the preposition of place, but here we focus on time. So we can say at the weekend. Okay. So as we see, with days we use on, and with months and date, seasons we use in, with some expressions like the morning and the afternoon, the evening we use in. Sometimes we use at night, at 9 o'clock. Here, try yourself to choose the correct answer. My lesson start, great, because it is 5 o'clock. Number 2, my father usually buys a newspaper in the morning, excellent. We wear warm clothes in winter. I usually visit my grandparents, we say Sundays, excellent, on Sundays. And the film finishes at 9:30 because it's certain time. So these are the answers. Good job. So we have learned after that preposition express a very wide range of meanings. So these are the examples of preposition we used in our examples of location and places, distance, time and date, reasons or purpose, examples, and kind or amount. So these are the most common uses of the prepositions. Let's move to the other one, I think the last part of the grammar, which is conjunction. What do I mean by conjunctions? What do I mean by conjunctions? Okay, great. These words that join parts of a sentence together. Okay. The English language course suggested that learners often make mistakes with conjunctions. Here I want you to choose the correct answer. One, I really like this phone. It is attractive. Excellent. To join sentences means to join, yeah. Because it is attractive and reliable. Excellent. It is popular. Order one now. So order one now. They will all be gone. Or, excellent. So here and or. The faster, it's faster than the previous model. Has wonderful apps. Excellent. And because we want to add extra information about the phone features, the battery life could be longer. It's not that, but because we say something and we contrast in the other part of the sentence. Okay, so the answers are highlighted in blue. So these, what do we mean by the conjunctions? Okay, here is light activities to match between the conjunctions and their uses. So here we have on your left hand the conjunctions, and from 1 to 5, and the other part from A to E, the uses. Okay, تبيان. And to add extra information, to introduce, excellent, but to introduce a contrast to what you have said before. 3, so. Okay. To say something is the reason why something else happened. Excellent. What about because? Because is to give reason for something. What about or? To give warning or advice, or to give an alternative. So these, what we have learned about conjunctions, to add, either to add information or to contrast what you have said, or to give advice or alternatives. So to give result, or to say why something happened, the reason why something happened, and because to say the reason. Okay, let's move to the second part of our presentation, which is punctuation. The punctuation, what do you know about the punctuation before we move? What do you know? From the picture, you can look at the picture and you can question marks, examples, commas. Okay, so if you use accurate punctuation, the reader will understand what you have meant. Okay, In the punctuation, we will talk about capitalization and full stop. And as I mentioned before, commas and um, other punctuation mark. So here, I want you to think about this text. It is a very important exercise. It is similar to the one that the student had in the final writing in Module 2. And they asked them to underline the error in capitalization and full stop, in which learner always make mistakes with these things. So just have a moment to look at this text and to try to focus on capitalization and full stop. Okay. So here we have Bilal, Mecca, his as a capital, Sarah, her name is Sarah, Taif, excellent, he and Taif, Arabic should be capitalized. Okay, let's look at the answer. My uncle was born in Mecca. So we always capitalize the first word in a sentence. And we capitalize other words like what? Like King Fahad or King Faisal Hospital, Taif University. These are, and names like Sarah, Umar, Abdulaziz. And the first of Bilal as well is a name, the first word of a sentence. So here we see my, his, he, and here we have he, proper noun, which means proper noun. Proper nouns we indicate the name of people, the name of things, organizations, languages as well. Here we have Arabic. Okay, and we have here the full stop. You can see the use of full stop here. Okay, and after Arabic, and after Mecca, after Taif University, after the nurse, it was missing. So these are the things that we should be careful with them. Okay, here I want you to match 1 with 8 to with A to E, sorry, to I. Here we have the cases of capitalization. And here we have examples. When we can write, we will move to comma, and we will talk about comma. Don't worry, we will move to comma. But just we want to focus on one, on the punctuation mark one by one. So capitalization always connected with full stop, so I take them together. So the first word in a sentence, with D because it was highlighted. Otherwise, excellent. Most of them are capitalized at the beginning of the sentence. Names of people, places, organization. Okay. When I say I studied at KEU, King Abdulaziz University, it's kind of organization. Saudi Arabia with countries. Nationalities, you said 3 nationalities. Korean with E, he is Korean. 4 with J, with G, he speaks English and French. These are languages. Personal pronoun, and this is a very common mistakes with our by our students. Always capitalize the personal pronoun either at the beginning of the sentence, in the middle of the sentence. Always capitalize the personal pronoun, which is be. I live in Cairo. Always capitalized, even in the middle of the sentence. Countries and cities, we mentioned that. Seas, ocean, lakes, rivers. Okay, the Nile River. And the ship sank slowly to the depth of the Atlantic Ocean. So always the Atlantic Ocean capitalized because it's ocean. It's one of a kind. Titles like articles, books, websites, apps. Snapchat is addicted to Snapchat. So always capitalized. Also, they mean the name of the Holy Quran. It's a book, religious book. Okay, so these are the cases of capitalization, and these are some examples that we should focus on to avoid making these common mistakes. Here we will look at the full stop match between full stop uses and the given examples. So here the uses of the full stop and here examples. At the end of the sentence or at the end of a sentence. D, I'm going for a walk. Number 2, after some abbreviations. E, like Dr. Sam, when you shorten the word in order, when you shorten the word, it is abbreviated. So instead of writing doctor, you can write DR and you put full stop to indicate his position, like doctor, professor, Mr., like what we have here in A, dear Mr. Muhammad. So here is the place of the full stop with these abbreviations. Also add the decimal point in amount of money. Like, and as we mentioned here, this is usually read out as points. We say $3.5 million. Okay. And to separate parts of an email address or a website, this is read out as dot, like amal.alnasir at gmail.com, or maybe the website or email address or website address as well. So these are the uses of full stop. Okay. So here we have learned after this session that we focus on cases of capitalization and cases of full stops. We indicate all of these and see example on these cases. Here we will move to the other part of the punctuation. We will introduce the comma. What is the comma? As you see here in front of you, the symbol of the comma. Okay. When we talk about comma, we just want to indicate learners often make mistakes with commas in different contexts. In different contexts. In this session, we will focus on two examples with if conditionals, and we use the comma to separate a list of single words. We are not looking here to the grammar. We or looking to commas in the if conditional. Okay. As here suggested by the Cambridge Corps, that learners often make mistakes with commas in these two examples. Let's circle the correct sentence. We have A and B. A and B, I want you to circle or to highlight the correct one. So here, if your TV doesn't work, you should call a repairman. Okay, B is the correct one because we use the comma properly after the if clause. So after the if clause, you can use the comma and then you indicate the main clause, and you end with a full stop. And as you see here, start with capital letter. What about the other one? We will stay at home if it rains tomorrow. Which one is correct? A, excellent, excellent, A. Why? Because do we need the comma if we reverse the structure in F conditional? We don't need the comma. So we start with a capital letter. We start with the main clause with a capital letter, and we don't need the comma. And then we put F in small letter, and then we complete the F clause and ends with a full stop. The last one, here we have a list of words or similar words. They travel through Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. So the B is the correct one because we separate the similar words by comma, and here between the last two items we use and end with full stop. Okay, so these are the correct use of comma in two contexts, with if conditionals and if you want to separate similar items or similar words in a sentence. So after this, these are what we have learned, that we use comma between the if clause and the main clause in the conditional sentences. And this is the example. If you have a cold, don't go to work. And when you reverse the two part, you start with the main clause. You don't need a comma in the middle. You just complete it and end with full stop. And the last case, when you use a list of single words. Let's move into the last part of our presentation, which is other punctuation marks, exclamation mark, question mark, and apostrophe, and the dot. Sorry, the two dots, sometimes we call it the two dots, sometimes we call it the colon. So here, circle the correct sentence with the correct use of this punctuation. Number one, Noura doesn't eat fish, so they choose A. Great, because we use the apostrophe when we want to make the short form of the negative form. When we want to make the short form of the negative sentence, we can use the apostrophe for or to indicate the missing letters. Excellent. You need the following. So here, A. Okay, you are right. You need a colon to indicate a list of things. You need the following: paint, brushes, colors. So A. And then a question mark. After a question, we use a question mark, not a dot or not a full stop. The last one, if I say I can't believe it, we should use exclamation mark instead of question mark. So these are some usages of different punctuation. So at the end of this session, we have learned some punctuation, use an apostrophe for missing letter in the short negative form, use a colon to introduce a list, and you can use the question mark after a direct question, and you can use an exclamation mark to show a surprise. There are many cases, but we focus on the common one. Okay. So the last slide, I just want you to think of two things that you have taken from this session. Think of two things that you have taken from today's workshop. Okay, great. Noun and pronoun. We use only one before a verb. Capitalization. There are so many cases. We classify them and then we can categorize them so we can be familiar with their usages. Punctuation, uses of punctuation. When you use verb to be as a helping or an independent verb with a passive voice. Okay, prepositions. Thank you, ladies. A large number of texts is not, or okay, a large number text, yeah, text is not or, because you are dealing with one number, a large number. We're describing this number. You are welcome, ladies. Thank you to you as well, to all of you. If you have any question, you can just ask me. I did a very good research about the prepositions and punctuation, punctuation and grammar, this aspect, and these are my references. I try to limit my references, so I can highlight the most used and the things that I think I see them every day in class.
Teacher, you hear me? Teacher.
All right, so thank you, Ms. Maha, for this wonderful presentation. For me, I learned a lot. MashaAllah, you shared with us very important information, details about grammar and punctuation, the most common mistakes, and how to avoid these mistakes. So thank you again. And I'm going to share with you now 3 links. The first one is the evaluation form. Please complete it to get the certificate. And the certificates, inshallah, will be sent within 24 to 48 hours. And the second link is our YouTube channel. And the third link is our booking system. Whenever you have any questions or you have like something written and you need someone to look at it, so we are happy to do so. We have 30 minutes, we have 60 minutes, so feel free. to make an appointment with one of our writing specialists to look at your writing and help you out with your writing. So now let's see if you have any questions. We have about 15 to 20 minutes if you have any questions. So you can just it here in the chat, or you can just raise your hand and ask your question. And inshallah, yes, thank you, Brother Kamal. This Wednesday, inshallah, we'll have another workshop about transitions and connections in academic writing.
Okay, that's fine with me to send the slides. Thank you very much for all of you.
All right, so I think it seems that everything is clear and no more questions. So then I think we need to end this presentation. Again, thank you, Ms. Maha, for this wonderful presentation. Thank you all for attending the workshop and this presentation. And stay tuned. Inshallah, this video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, inshallah, within 24 hours. And inshallah, hope to see you, inshallah, on Wednesday. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of your night.